what do you call it? Smurfs in glass.
Smurfs?
Smurfs. You know what a Smurf is?
The blue.
Yeah, but they're
Smurfs?
not blue. They're people that go into drugstores and they buy Sudafed.
Cold medicines. And
yeah, and then you take it out to the parking lot and you're called a Smurf. I didn't know you could get so much money for that stuff, or I would be doing it for a living.
Well, what do? You boil it down. You make.
Well, I have no idea what.
You
need somebody with a college degree in chemistry to know how to make that stuff. So I don't have to worry about it.
We had a meth lab blow up a block away from me.
Jesus.
I woke up in the middle of the night and I looked in my room. The whole room was lit up orange, and I looked out the window, and there was a whole block on fire.
Oh, you're
block
kidding?
Away. No,
holy crap!
Like 3 or 4 buildings. One burned to the ground. The others were on fire.
The innocent buildings burned too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was only in one basement apartment where this was happening, and I saw firefighters. The silhouettes of them. It was like a Hollywood movie going from roof to roof, and. Freaked me
what a shame.
Frick out.
Yeah, that's a shame. And usually you would expect that to be the result of a earthquake.
Right. Yeah, and there was a windstorm. That's why the thing was spreading, which
that didn't help. It was a conflagration.
Yes.
Yes.
Which makes it sound strangely patriotic.
Well, there have been people. Never mind. I was going to say you could, carpet bomb
San Francisco.
Yeah, I don't recommend it though. I recommend peaceful.
Good.
Peaceful carpet bombing.
Yeah.
No, maybe I should say I just recommend smart bombs. Carpet bombing so yesterday, 1940s.
Well, today's carpet bombing is learning how to recycle carpet into building materials.
Well, Big Bob's used carpet. He may have thought that when he got into that business, he could get government contracts because they would just take that old carpet and throw it out of airplanes.
Yeah, there's no carpet's going into landfill all over the country, but the petroleum-based carpeting can be reconstituted into building materials.
Really?
I know this because a woman in San Francisco in my neighborhood was doing it.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely amazing.
So
and she had this little gun. A gun.
She did.
Yep.
And she shot it into the carpet?
I actually shot a politician in San Francisco with it. I was in a room with one of our supervisors, and we were talking about this new technology.
Yeah.
And I aimed the gun at him, and it has a little voice that says the content of the textiles that you're wearing.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a polyester suit, and he was really embarrassed that this voice said, "Oh, polyester."
Oh, it knew what the chemistry of his suit was?
Yeah, because it's the petroleum-based carpets that you can actually use to reconstitute the natural wool fibers you can.
Really? Did it realize that it was 1979 vintage or?
It didn't. It went not to that level of detail, but the
like
detail
paisley,
was
but not even real paisley, sort of like fake Kmart paisley. Yeah, it's not that detailed.
We should upgrade it. I think that would be interesting. So it would be like polyester, 1970.
Well,
fatally out of fashion.
Yeah, well, that RDFI chip that everybody's going to have implanted in them will have like fashion details on it. There'll be your medical records, and there'll be the type of clothing that you wear.
Right. So it would go deeper than the clothing. Heart attack, age 49.
Don't even say that.
Well, if I didn't have a heart attack today, I think I might last another year or two. And
I have to verify this that everybody in our family were artists, right? On both sides of the family.
Well, there are certain standouts, right? Our grandfathers.
Well, let me say folk artists. They were self-taught.
Right, all of
self-taught. And our grandfather on our mother's side, mother's side, he painted. He was like a folk artist because he painted his surroundings, like landscapes and animals and so forth and so on. Buildings, natural things.
Right.
But Dad's, I don't know that we only have one painting on my dad's side of the family. His dad painted that knight on a horse.
Right. I wonder why more didn't survive. I wonder if...
Well, even all Dad's stuff went away. All his drawings.
I remember he did a drawing for me once when I was a kid of a clown. He just sketched it out, and I was like, wow.
No, he had a lot of drawings that were really good. Plus comic books he drew as a kid. That's why I got started drawing comic books. Because I found what he drew as a kid.
Were they in that drawer underneath that bunk bed?
Yeah, Jim Wing. That was a little character that he came up with. Yes.
And we don't have those anymore?
No, they all went away. Along with all the comic books I drew as a kid got thrown out somewhere along the lines when I wasn't there. They sold the house.
God, Mom saved everything. I'm
no,
surprised.
It didn't save everything.
Apparently not.
All got thrown out.
Yeah.
Well, that was another one of the beefs she had with Dad was that oh, well, when they had that yard sale, he just threw it. Well, you know how she was like a
Well, and she was pissing me.
hoarder.
And she was right about that, actually, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was selling things for pennies that were, like, probably hugely valuable.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get rid of it because everybody was in emotional turmoil.
Well, I can imagine. I didn't have to go through that. Fortunately, I was not there at that time.
Yeah.
But that's one thing the one thing I missed was not having that box of drawings that I did. I spent my whole childhood drawing those stupid army men with their legs blown off.
Well,
I had
that
a
did
whole
not
box
get
full
sold.
of it. Somebody threw it out.
Somebody might have thrown it out.
Because why would you want to keep a box full of army men with their legs blown off drawings?
Dad must have thrown it out because he's the one that cleaned up.
He did, really?
Sorry.
He cleaned it out?
Well, he's the one who ended up with all the contents of the house. That's why he told me that because he couldn't deal with it.
Really?
All he could do was like smoke cigarettes and
I bet he just threw
sit
it
in the
out.
house and talk to people and try to avoid
Wow.
what was going on. So he's like, okay, you can keep all the money if you get rid of all the stuff.
Really?
So I had
He
a
was
garage
that
sale.
that dysfunctional?
Yeah. At that time. Well, you know, he's being divorced or in a divorce.
No, did I inherit that dysfunction? I probably inherited that part.
Some of it, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I need some tranquilizers.
yeah, if he had been more medicated, I'll bet we'd probably all be healthier. But
But people
just
didn't. They
didn't
didn't
know.
do that.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, they didn't do that. They didn't.
They did cocktails, and he didn't do that, which I think
No?
we are. I'm grateful.
Well, he had the most. He went on a weekend. He would drink 6 beers.
I remember him drinking a Duke beer after cutting the grass. That was his ritual.
Yeah.
Because he had a Duke beer T-shirt.
Did he? Oh, yeah, I remember. Maybe
It's
I
all
remember
ripped
that.
up, and I'm sure.
I have to turn this off and turn it back on. I had to turn it off because I was afraid I was going to burp. I didn't want to embarrass anybody.
Yeah, burping is a natural.
Yeah. Well, he had it pretty rough, because we didn't understand what was going on, so we could be no support, and he was constantly being badgered by her mother. He should never have had kids, but because that's what you did in those days post-war. People just did that.
Right.
He was better off not having any kids because he just couldn't handle all the pressure. Not that it would have been never ending, and it was never ending. But that's just women. Most women for you are like that.
Well, do you know what he told our mother when he finally decided to get married and asked her to marry him?
No, I don't know.
He asked her to marry him by saying, I figured it's time to either shit or get off the pot.
Really?
Yeah.
He said
She
that?
carried that to her grave.
Well,
as anyone would, that's not the most romantic proposal in the world.
Yes, but I'm telling you, without incriminating myself, that all men think that way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because at some point it's just like...
I don't. I'm a total romantic.
Well, what am I doing here? I better do what I need to be doing. Do what's right and just get the fuck over with. I'll have to cut all that out, or go somewhere else. Then they all think that. But the problem is you get to a certain age and it's just like, it's all going to be the same. So let's just get it over with. But you shouldn't think that way because you're dooming yourself to eternal damnation. Not that I know anything about that.
Yeah, I thought you were agnostic.
Well, that's a whole other thing. It's starting to get... We lost the breeze.
Yeah, it's hot again.
I suppose we should go inside.
Right.
Mark, I can't keep up.
It's hard to take a break.
Yeah, I think you should just leave the wood you split and I'll stack it when it gets cooler. I don't mind doing it, I can't catch my breath. That camera's on, by the way.
Oh, it is?
Want to just flip it on?
Well, I don't know if you deserve a beer now.
I don't.
Usually I run through 2 tanks of gas.
Absolutely do not.
So I brought out Bud Light Limes on ice.
It's the good You treat me so well.
Well, it is your vacation.
Pan to that. And back to me.
What? It's just
Evil.
some people do this in the fall, but I like to do it in the summer.
There's evil afoot in the countryside.
It's just.
And it's all about labor and splitting wood and farming.
But
and
while you're here, you're my minion.
happy to be a minion, but not guaranteed to be a good one.